Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading session. One moment, and I will get the screen share happening. So, yesterday, a pretty quiet day overall. We did okay. But the market spent most of the session going sideways until the close. And then, of course, the FOMC minutes are released, and the market making a very strong push higher. So as you can see from where the market closed to where we opened this morning, we have a pretty substantial opening gap. And as the markets will often do, they will try to reverse on the overnight trend if there was one. But it's still very early here. We're only a couple of minutes into today's session. We are generating some signals already. We have here on the Hawk a red bar buy signal. Now this is a signal that you can either buy or sell, but since it looks like there's already been a retest of the high, you might be more inclined to try to short this one. And here on the Raptor, we also produced that counter trend signal. That signal actually coincides with the Hawk signal. But that big opening gap is also, an acceleration gap. So I don't want to get too crazy on the short side just yet. Especially since we're this close to 6,000. There's going to be a lot of traders anxious to see the market try to break 6,000. I was reading a little bit this morning about Elon Musk's tunnel project, which sounds very interesting. The man is ambitious, I will give you that. Not quite sure how feasible his idea is, especially in an earthquake zone, but I'm sure he has thought this through. All right, now we're getting a first micro-macro cross lower here on the Hawk, so things lining up a little bit more on the short side. And what are we now? We're about 6 minutes into the session today. Well, that's a fairly brisk move right out of the open. Oh, look at them go. They're going to try to fill that gap. I'm not sure I would suggest we're in a downtrend. But there has been a strong move lower, so I'm wondering whether they're going to try to continue to get into that gap the rest of the morning. Our first in-sync eagle signal may print here off the hard edge. It would be a red bar buy signal, which we know tends to be a fairly high probability signal. Here it comes. There's the first in-sync eagle signal. And do we get a chance at a second push on this one? Well, there it is anyway. We've kind of breached this old overnight support, kind of bouncing there. And what you can anticipate here is a larger retest of the extreme before a possible reversal. That's the way that one's setting up. We had a macro pullback here, but it was spoiled by the yellow bar in the hawk, and the falcon already getting a little bit more aggressive on the buy side here also. The Raptor, a little bit of a mess. We're attempting a cloud crossover. And we've got the pullback. We could come out of here with a sell signal. You might interpret that as an early cloud crossover. We're not going to print the number one signal. Or you can just ignore it entirely, given that we're between the two clouds. All right, so here now, that number one signal or hard edge bounce. It's a little premature though, because like I said, the cloud's not in sync yet. A proper number one signal is like this. Actually, this one's almost textbook, where the clouds cross over, you get a pullback, you produce a signal. This is the way we like to see them develop. Very often it will be preceded by a number two signal, which of course is the counter trend signal. So here this morning we had the soft edge sell signal, the number two signal. This may end up being an early number one signal. And here come the buyers one more time, producing another possible red bar buy. So it looks like they're serious about doing something off of that hard edge. And you may choose to be a little bit more aggressive, both on the profit side and the stop side. This is a difficult trade right now. We've got a very balanced market with plenty of room to the short side still. That's a little bit of a concern. Obviously, I can't cover the trade down here below this low, which is actually the proper place for the stop. All right. And we have a 4-arrow consolidation. Well, we've got a real mixed bag. Look at this. We've got a 4-arrow consolidation to sell here in the hawk. We're working on the 4th arrow right now. And this is the only signal I will take on yellow bars in the hawk. So we've got a short signal brewing here, or possible short. The falcon already bullish with a trend change signal and a late filter entry signal. It tends to be a high probability buy signal, so it actually produced right around there. The eagle has now printed another hard edge bounce, and it looks like they've brought us in, and no slippage. That's nice. And here the Raptor, a little bit of a mess right now, but we've got hard edge bounce to the short side and a hard edge bounce to the long side, neither of which will print, and that's because this faster cloud, the top cloud, is a little bit of a mess. But the signal is still there if you wanted to try it. All right, well, they're getting a little traction. That's good. All right, so our 4-arrow consolidation here in the hawk never materialized, but we did come back with the first micro-macro cross to buy. And here on the falcon, you can see we're almost to our profit objective. And The eagle struggling a little bit. Come on, keep going. Well, we're seeing a little bit more volatility here this morning than what we have been. Come on. So here on the Hawk, we have the first micro-macro cross signal. That's this one right here. That's the first signal where everything is in sync after the micro lines and macro lines cross. Got within a tick or two of our profit target. So if you're running on auto break even, it would have tagged you at break even. Coming back now with a macro pullback signal. So far, the Hawk anyways remains mildly bullish, as does the Falcon and the Eagle. Let's see here if we're going to get a Raptor signal. Once this fast cloud gets back in sync, we may actually come out of here and produce either a hard edge bounce or a number one signal. Perhaps the thing to do would have been just to scalp out with my $50 profit while I had it. Here come the sellers again. Oh goody, a little more sideways trading. Looks like they're respecting the low of the morning, starting to, or so far holding it. This will be a test of the extreme to the short side. If we come back here now with a buy signal, that will be a soft edge buy. It will not print as a soft edge buy, and again, because the cloud. But all the components of a soft edge buy will be present, namely, we have a trend, and we have a retest of the low, and a possible failure. Now that failure will not be complete until we get that buy signal. But that might be a tempting trade to take. I was watching the Geiger counter here. The sellers were laying it on pretty thick. You can see right through here, there's a spike in selling. And the needle was reddish. It's since turned white. The buyers were trying to fight it back. Oh, there they go. There. See when it pulls over and holds like that? All right, well, here things are attempting now to get a little bit more bullish. Okay, where's that buy signal? Well, we've got a yellow bar. We're halfway there toward our buy signal. All right, well, we'll put that back on the shelf, and we've got the tug of war continuing. Well, here we go. We've got a little bit of a sloppy, soft edge buy signal. I'm basing, this is now the number 2 signal. I'm basing it more on the overall structure of the chart rather than the actual clouds and everything. This is what you might call an advanced version of the number 2 signal. So for those of you who are just starting to trade the Raptor, you're going to want to concentrate on the actual signals that print. However, once you become more familiar with the structure of the signal, you may be inclined to try one of these earlier signals. Okay, there we go. Getting a little bit of a uptick now. Or what started as an uptick. All right, well, stops below the low of the morning are probably prudent. I can adjust these stops a little bit. I will leave it right there anyway. I might be a little bit cozy. We'll back it off just a little. Oh dear, we just need to get above this little hump here that is at the high at the 59.84, the high of this bar. Real struggle going on right now. The trend, I don't think there's any denying the trend is up. So we're with trend, that's good. Just getting that little bit of follow through. Seeming to be a bit of an obstacle for the buyers this morning. So you can see the flip-flop in the signals continues. We've got now a first micro-macro cross higher. These signals are following through, by the way. Well, actually, sorry, this one came up, I think, a tick or two short of its profit objective. This one to the short side would have found its profit target before reversing, and now we're producing another one to the upside. So just the regular grinding of the market back and forth. All right, well, here we are again, back at the little obstacle here at 984. And we'll give them a little push over the other side, and that should finally get us to our profit objective. There we go. Come on. Oh, hard work. Get up there. All right, so managed to hit the break-even trigger here on the Raptor. As we get the final push into the high here, this little swing high, which fell at 59.86, so that's the next obstacle, and after that we should see the market try to recover to the primary resistance here at 59.92 3/4, or perhaps even make an attempt to recover the high of the morning. my goodness, here we are, just a couple of ticks short of our profit objective. Come on. Giddy up. Oh my, what a day. Nuts. Got tagged on the break even, so close to the profit objective. You can see now here we've printed that number one signal. So we'll look at taking it perhaps off of another hard edge bounce. Right now, however, the market a little non-conforming. The sellers may try to push back here. Given that we have a little bit of a sideways channel going on, it's fairly obvious right there. And we're now trading at the top end of the trading range. And the thing with these trading ranges is it can be roughly divided into thirds. There's buying that goes on in the bottom third. There's selling that goes on in the top third. And the middle third, well, that's kind of no man's land. So now that we're in the top third, or some traders would prefer quarters, it's not unusual to see a little bit of active selling. Okay, we're seeing a little bit more follow through now. There we go. Come on, get up there. Still slow slogging, but at least we're going the right direction. I'm gonna have to bust out my accordion soon and entertain everybody. Or get some better jokes. You know, we do have some profit here. We've got our scalping profit. So it's not like there isn't some money there, and as much as the market is laboring today, sometimes I think you're better off just grabbing it when you have it. But we'll see if we can't eke a little bit more out of this trade. My goodness, market's only been open for an hour. It seems like it's been open all morning already. Well, we've almost made it here to our break-even trigger. I may bring this down here So if this bar finishes on the high, the stops will automatically roll to break even. I should probably take the stops to break even regardless. There we go. We got the break even. Come on, you can do it. Oh, come on. All right, well, I'm not going to take it. No, we're not going to take it anymore. There we go. That's all you get. You get the one bar. I can just see them backing up and tagging me at break even. I may as well take what profit they have on the table if they're not going to reach my profit objective. Well done, Mark. Mark says, I've been experimenting for over 6 months now using a divergence indicator in combination with the DTS tools and have had a good degree of success. Took 3 trades this morning, one on each bird, and bagged just over $8.75 for the morning by taking 2 contracts on each bird. Well done, Mark. That's a good day. Very good. Yeah, you know, people often ask me, can I use other indicators with DTS? Bollinger Band seems to be a favorite for some reason, not sure why, but the short answer is yes. You can use other indicators with the DTS system. Mike Filigera, I know, is particularly fond of fast stochastics. He's the only guy I've ever met who follows fast stochastics, but whatever the case, the bottom line is always the same. It has to help you make a trading decision. You do not put anything else on your chart in an attempt to filter out bad trades. As I've mentioned before, that's an exercise in futility and will lead you down a rabbit hole or a black hole that you will never emerge from. Trading is not tweaking your signal. That's mental masturbation, if you'll excuse the term. And that's all well and good. You know, have fun with it, play with it, but when it comes to trading, trading is about making money. And you don't need more filters or more indicators to make money. Now, having said that, obviously, what Mark is doing is working for him, and that's fantastic. I think it's also important, if you do choose to go that route, that you don't flip-flop all the time. You know, what a lot of people don't realize as well is that every time you put a new indicator on your chart or you scrap an old indicator in favor of the next bright, shiny new indicator that's out there, you're starting over. You're starting from square one. You're actually not continuing down the road any further. You are starting all over again, because now you need to see how this fancy new indicator is responding to the DTS signals and so forth. But like Mark says, he's been tracking it for about 6 months now, so that's kind of the learning curve. You know, you'll be following stuff for several months, maybe even a year, in order to get a handle on how the tools work. Now, the nice thing about the DTS system is it is a standalone system, so you don't need to add stuff to it. You can see, you know, we got some reliable signals here this morning. We just kind of need to manage them so that we can get them to a profitable position. And I don't know if I may take away that little bit that they have right there. That's all I'm going to give them. And we'll go to a nice round number. Where's 91? There it is. That's all they got, that current bar. I'll give them the 3-point spread. They can either stop me out at 91 or stop me out at 94. Or I could just take the profit. Okay, not a big surprise that we kind of flinched here at the pre-market high, or at the opening high. Was that on the open? Yeah, at the opening high. Like I said, not a big surprise there. That was a lot of work, but hey, we got a couple profitable trades out of the deal. And there were follow-up signals as well. Here you can see on the Hawk. Came back with another first micro-macro cross trend change signal here on the Falcon. the #1 cloud crossover signal here on the Raptor, and then of course the Eagle signal that we were nursing all trade. But a decent little move to the upside. Not bad, you know, for single contracts. Of course, once you can consistently make money on singles, then it's just a game of multiplication. Just add a few more contracts. Jeff says, is the NQ trying to get to 6,000? I think so, Jeff. It's within striking distance, and the markets love numbers like that. They love big whole numbers. Yeah, Mark adds a couple things here in regards to indicators. Mark says, more is not better when it comes to indicators, that's for sure, and always test it, then retest it, then test it again before trying it live. And those are good words of advice right there. You know, I guess it's just part of our culture, and you can probably blame advertising to a large degree, but everybody always wants a quick fix. Whenever I frequent these trading forums, people are always asking the quick fix questions. And I feel for them, I do, because we've all been there. I get the frustration. But trading can be done. Successful trading can be done. But at the same time, there isn't one thing that you can point to and say, if you do this, you'll be successful. Well, actually, sorry, that's not entirely true. If there is one thing that you had to concentrate on above all others, I would say it's your money management. And yet that's the thing that people pay the least attention to. Vic's asking, Eric, what are the indicators you have on the Falcon other than the basic ones? Okay, well, here, I'll give you the bird's eye view, if you will, the nickel tour. There are some add-on indicators that I have, and I've got one per chart in order to keep things a little less cluttered. So here on the Hawk, I've got the Day Ranger. And you can see our Day Ranger, today's range, painfully small. We're only 86 ticks. Yesterday was 240, although that would be the 24-hour range. The average range for the last 30 days, around 240, 10 days, 150, 5 days, 148. That tells me the market is contracting, that the daily ranges are getting a little bit smaller. Therefore, I'm probably better off going all in, all out on target, probably better off running tighter stops when I have open profit, because the range is not expanding. If the range were expanding, well, then I would expect bigger moves, right? I would expect more follow through, and I might try to go a little bit further. Here on the Falcon, the only add-on I have is the Ultimate Support and Resistance Suite. So the assortment of 21 support and resistance lines, forecast for today's trading, and you can see we're pretty much pinched between the primary resistance and the primary support. here on the Eagle, I've got the trade forecaster. Trade forecaster saying we are currently in scalp mode for about another 10 minutes time, after which we move into trend mode. Well, that's hopeful. We may end up seeing the market pick a direction a little bit better toward the afternoon. And here on the Raptor, I have the Geiger counter, which is essentially a tape reader. It shows you the active bid and ask and tries to give you an indication which way the market is leaning relative to the current buying and selling, or the bid and ask, I should say. I also have the Ultimate Support and Resistance Suite here on the Raptor, but I do believe that's, I think that's part of the Raptor bundle now. And I have added the initial balance lines. This is probably the one that's not stock with the Raptor system. The initial balance lines are available from Indicator Warehouse website, and I've set them to highlight my opening range. That's what they're there for. Why opening range? Well, there's a school of thought that suggests that the big boys do their most active buying and selling during that first half hour of trading. So it's kind of helpful to know where the highs and lows of the opening range are. Do they always have influence? Nope, not always. But it is interesting how often the market will respond to the opening range highs and lows, and even the opening range highs and lows of the day before, although that's a non-issue today. And there you go. Other than that, I suppose here on the Eagle I have the ATR. Now, I showed this yesterday, but I'll do it again here this morning. The ATR line, I've been using this as a filter on the Eagle ever since Mike Filigera pointed it out to me. And again, I use it because it does tend to keep me on the right side of the trade. To add that, it's actually used by your trade manager. So to add that to your chart, and you can add this to any chart, go here to your indicator window, and then from your indicator assortment, find where it says IW TM ATR Trail. So it's the Trade Manager ATR Trail is what the Trade Manager uses. You can double click on that and it will show up in your indicator assortment. You can apply it, you don't need to make any changes, and then you'll have a squiggly red and blue line on your chart. No problem, Vic. Well, boys and girls, I'm not sure we're going to see much more here this morning. Might get a little bit of a pullback. The market is looking pretty strong, however. But a pullback even, say, here to the median line around 59.81 would not be out of the question. That would also put us back toward the hard edge. Maybe give us a hard edge bounce. That may well take the rest of the day to do. All right, well, we're almost at the top of the hour. I think we're going to close up shop here unless anybody has any other questions. And then we'll look to do this all over again tomorrow. No? No questions? All right, gang. Thanks for coming out. It wasn't entertaining, but at least it was profitable. So I guess that's the better of the two anyhow. And we'll see you tomorrow. Talk to you then. Bye for now.